Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Go ahead.
So we're joined by another Q&A with AOLCC here. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by Melissa, and we are part of AOLCC's marketing team. We're here today to share more information in regards to what we're all about. Melissa, how are you?
I'm good. If you hear a lot of fan noises, it's because the room that my office is in, it gets really hot. So I have a lot going on right now. So if it is distracting, let me know. I'll turn them down, but I might melt in the process. So just be warned.
Well, hopefully for both our sakes, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. All right. So Melissa, you ready to get started?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
All right, so we're going to talk obviously a lot about AOLCC, and we have, just with everything going on right now and the province of Alberta getting set to open up stage 3, we think that there are lots of opportunities where maybe going back to school would be something that you might be looking at. So we have some questions that we can work with. Melissa, did you want to put out the questions, or how would you want to do this?
Sure, I can definitely. Some of these questions are definitely not super aligned for us, but we'll do our best. So let me just copy this first one, and I'll pop it in the comments. Okay, so our first question is, why do you think that AOLCC is a great place to study, and what sets us apart from other colleges?
So I think what we could do here, Melissa, is I think we can each kind of state why I think we think with each question. So I'll start. I think AOLCC it gives people an opportunity that maybe have spent many years in a particular field and are looking for a different change. They can go back to school, and that is, I believe, a lot of our demographics. So if you're, in your 30s or in your 40s or 50s, and you go, it's not so intimidating necessarily to go back to school. You're kind of around people that are around your same age. I think that's positive. And also, I think one of the areas is there's multiple different ways you can learn. You can learn online. You can, build your program around maybe your work schedule. If you want to study at nighttime, when the kids are in bed or things like that, that's an option as well. So I think those are two really good ways. That makes us kind of stand out in that sense. We kind of we kind of mold your schedule to fit your studying schedule. So, yeah.
Nice. I think one of the great things, and if you've been tuning in with us in the evenings, generally what we've been doing is interviewing people in other roles in AOLCC, and something that we've heard a lot from all of these people is what a family environment it is, because I think you get all of these amazing accreditations through all of the programs, but it's not just, it's not just going to school. It's a network of people that become your friends and become your supports. And then that's like the peers that you study with, as well as the people who help you through the programs, your professors, and then the admissions advisors and everyone throughout the thing. So I think that's a really unique experience to AOLCC that does differ from the more traditional university where you're one of maybe 400 people in a class. People really care about your journey, and they care about you starting and your journey through school, and then they care about everything that comes after. And I think that's really special and something that definitely makes us stand out.
Yeah, and another thing we could touch on as well is I think a lot of time you're not, when you come in and you get enrolled at AOLCC, you're not in a program where you're in for 2 years or 4 years. That's can be daunting in itself when you think, oh, I'm going to be in a program here for the next 2 years. I'm going to be in a program here for the next 4 years. All our programs are 1 year or less. So it allows you to get into the workforce sooner rather than later. And we have a really good staff in place that help you get good practicums and help you get jobs once you graduate. So that's really good too as well.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot going on for us, but maybe it is a biased opinion, but I think it is deserved. It is a deserved biased opinion.
Yes.
So also just if you're tuned in, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. We'll answer them to the best of our abilities. But if we can't answer them, we'll show you the link where you can go and get all your questions answered by people who know way more than us.
Mm-hmm.
So our follow-up question kind of is a tag along to the one that we just asked, but it is, what is ILS, or the Integrated Learning System?
Yeah. So ILS is something that we all know that people learn in different ways. Some people are very visual learners. Some people need to learn hands-on and be able to do the tasks, as opposed to, having someone tell you everything. Some people want to read in a book or watch videos, or they like lectures. So there's multiple different ways that you can learn. And ILS kind of gives people that opportunity to kind of find their best way that suits them. And it's and the great thing about it is it's not something that it's just been incorporated. It's been incorporated in the Academy of Learning for several years now, and so it's been very popular among our students because it helps them succeed, and I think that's what's important.
Yeah, another really cool part about ILS is that it lets you study in the way that is best for you, like you said, Jason, but it's also step by step. So if there's something where it's easy breezy and you're burning through material, then you can move forward at your own pace where you're feeling challenged and like you're learning. Or if you come across something that is maybe a little bit more difficult and you want to spend more time on it, you can, which again is like unlike a lot of other schooling options, because you just have to get through the material. So that is super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a question here. And Marianne asks, what is the best course to study, preferably less math subjects? I'm with you, Marianne. The less math, the better for me as well. So I look at the programs that we offer, and there's a variety of different things. If it was me in someone's shoes that's looking to as the Academy of Learning as an option to go back to school, I think anything in the healthcare sector of our school is very. There's going to be lots of opportunities in that regard. So we have healthcare aid. We've got that's a very popular one. And so
you could see.
Yeah. It all kind of, I think, matters of what you're most interested in overall. But another one that I really would be interested in as well is community services. I look at community services, and the federal and provincial government is really taking mental health more seriously, and they're sinking more and more money into that area. And I think that's very important, because it shows that a person's mental health is just as important as their physical health. And we have a community service worker program, as well as a community service and addictions worker program. So as well as educational assistance. So those three programs I think are really popular as well, because you can really make a difference in people's lives and really make a difference in your community. And Marianne, I do believe those three programs wouldn't have a lot of math involved. So those are some of the programs I think that stand out to me. in terms of its popularity, where people are really gravitating towards. But it all depends on your interests. We've got lots of different programs in accounting and business and design, um, healthcare, like I mentioned, hospitality, technology, as well as legal. So, um, yeah, I would kind of, if you're looking for something to venture into, what are you passionate about? That's one of the questions I would try to answer is, well, what are you passionate about, and is there an area where you feel you can take something that you think you can really flourish in. So, how about you, Melissa? What would you say?
I think you covered the big ones. I think design would also probably not have a ton of math. So if you have a little bit more of a creative side and you like to do that kind of stuff, that might be a good avenue. And it's graphic designer, software and web developer, and web designer. So it's not just drawing. It's not just that you have to be, creative with your hands. It's also a lot of tech stuff too. So there is a lot of options with that. And if we didn't manage to answer all of that question, down here on the banner, there's academyoflearning.ab.ca/apply. And you can go put all your information in there, and that will connect you to, it'll allow you to set up a meeting with someone who will be able to answer your questions a little bit more in depth, or even help you find what program is best suited to your interests. So it's a really good avenue to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Let me find that next question. So we can give this one a shot. So the next question is, what is the process of finding a job after graduation?
You're welcome, Marianne. Well, basically, we have staff in place that will help you get the best practicum that you feel will be the best fit for you. And a lot of graduates are able to get jobs after their practicum through their experience working with that particular company. So, but if that's not the case, then we have the staff in place as admissions advisors that will help you, find the best possible job opportunities out there for you. And they kind of work with you hand in hand to get that first step, so you get that job in place sooner rather than later once you graduate.
Yeah, I know because I chatted with Naima last night, and she was saying that what happens a lot of the time is that there's actual businesses in the city who contact AOL to hear about graduates. Like the graduates from AOLCC are, that great. There's like a reputation for them being really good at what they study. So there are businesses in the city that will reach out to AOLCC, and then alternatively, AOLCC is always reaching out into the community as well to see like for potential job placements post-graduation, and then also for placements while they're in their training, because some programs do require that you do like a practicum during your course. So there are lots of options, and AOL definitely helps you with that process, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have had that help. Finding a job is hard.
It is. It's I know I'm old, but when I graduated college back in 2003, I was lucky enough to get a job out of my practicum. But a lot of my classmates, once their practicum was over, they were didn't have that opportunity, and so it was a challenge for a lot of them. And in my industry, in particular, they actually ended up. Some of them didn't even actually go into that program afterwards. So, like into that field afterwards. So it can be a struggle, and it can be intimidating. It can be scary. It can be all those different kind of feelings all wrapped into one. But we have the staff in place to help you kind of get your foot in the door. And once you get your foot in the door and you get that opportunity, the rest is up to you. But yeah, it's.
So we have a question from Siham. If you want to work in a government place like CSS or income support, what would you need to study? I think this question is probably best for an academic advisor, unless you have some insights, Jason.
Yeah. My suggestion would definitely be to talk to one of our admissions advisors. They're able to really answer all your questions in that regard. It depends, honestly, what you want to do with Catholic Social. I believe CSS, you're referring to Catholic Social Services. Yeah, there's so many different things that you could kind of pursue in that area. So, yeah, my suggestion would be to book a schedule, a call with one of our admission staff, and they'll be able to kind of go into more detail of what you might need to study if you want to get those types of jobs. So, yeah, that was what I would recommend as well.
Okay, maybe I'll show you guys really quick where to find it on the website, just so it's super clear. So on the website, even on the homepage, there's this really bright orange button. It's hard to miss. You just click apply now. And that doesn't mean that you're going to apply. It means that they're going to get you set up with someone to chat. So you fill out all this stuff, any questions and comments, and then you submit. And then they'll reach out to you and set up a meeting so you can talk about your options. And actually, this is a really good reminder because we forgot to mention it, but we have a really two exciting promotions going on right now. So I'll talk about this one, and then Jason, you could chat about the other one.
Sure.
Okay, so this one is actually coming to a fast end. So if you want to take advantage of it, now is the time to do so. We are celebrating 25 years of success in Alberta. And to do that, we are giving away 7 $2,500 scholarships for anyone who successfully enrolls before the end of June. So I know that seems like a really fast turnaround, but it is possible. You can still get set up to start before the beginning of July, but it does mean that you have to get in contact with someone right away. So if you went to our website, you can apply today and learn more. And as soon as you're enrolled, you're automatically entered to win one of the 7 prizes. So I think it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, the $2,500. You know, the money. Everyone always wants to know how much money it's going to cost for each program, and they all vary, of course, depending on what program you're in. But getting a $2,500 scholarship, you know, right off the hop just by applying, is a pretty cool opportunity. So, yeah, if you're interested in starting right away before the start of July, then yeah, you're going to get that chance at that $2,500. So, and we have 7 scholarships, 1 for each campus. So we have 7 campuses across Alberta, 3 here in Edmonton, 1 in Red Deer, 2 in Calgary, and 1 in Medicine Hat. The other cool promotion we have going on right now is the Refer a Friend. So a refer a friend program. That's tricky to say all at once, but our Refer a Friend program has changed slightly. Now you don't have to be an alumni to be open to this. So if you refer someone to AOLCC and they apply and they get enrolled, you get $250. So yeah, it's just a nice little thank you on our part for recommending someone or referring someone. And yeah, so I actually talked to someone the other day. They referred 8 people. So if all 8 of those people get into AOLCC, then she's going to get a nice little check for $2,000. So yeah, when she told me that, I was like, wow, you you might have a nice little payday there. So yeah, I mean, why not give it a shot? If you know some friends that are looking to maybe go back to school, and you think one of our programs might be a good fit for them, or they're looking at programs that are similar to what we're offering, why not just give them a referral, and who knows, you might be $250 richer.
Yeah, and I think one of the cool things is, like it says in that little box, is that so many, and yeah, this percentage is from when our program was just for alumni or current students. But the fact that 30% of our students even learn about us from students or alumni, I think really speaks to the culture and the environment of learning that we've created at AOL. That, you go through a program and you love it so much that you want your friends to go through the program. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And actually, I knew someone a while ago that mentioned, and I'm not sure which school that she was referring to, but she actually was looking to go back to school, and one of her friends joined her, and they took the same program. And
I love that.
yeah, it can be scary when you're going back to school. It can, you're meeting new people, and so to have a friend alongside you, you can study together, you can, learn from each other, and I think that can help ease the transition. And yeah, it's just a nice. You have someone in your corner already before you jump into the classroom.
Yeah, my roommate and I did so many years of school together, and we met in school, but now we're best friends. So I highly recommend this school with a friend. It makes group projects so much better, so much better.
Definitely.
That is my pro tip of the day. Okay, so our next question is about financing options.
Mm-hmm. So again, that's a question that it's all course dependent on how much the programs are. But if you again book a meeting with an admissions advisor, they can give you all of the options when it comes to finances, when it comes to student loans, what scholarships you may be available, what government grants. There's a lot of government grants going out right now for a lot of different reasons and a lot of different things. So you might not even know what you're actually available to get. So the number, when you look at the tuition costs, it might look at a number, but after it's all said and done, that number could go significantly down once you find out what all different financing options are available to you as a student. So yeah, my best advice there would be to book a meeting with an admissions advisor so that they can fill you in with all the different options that are available. Because again, I think it comes down to whatever programs you're taking as well. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that. Okay, so follow-up question or new question, I suppose, is now that the world is returning to normal, are there any industries that you expect to see hiring more people in the future?
I do. I look at a bunch of our programs are heading that way. When you look at the healthcare side of things, there's lots of different opportunities that are going to be opening up there even more than they already are, and that's an area where it was impacted by the pandemic, but I think it's going to be opening up even more as well. So when you look at the design programs, you wanted to switch to the design programs there, Melissa?
You betcha.
I think one of the things that this pandemic did when it comes to a lot of businesses is it made them realize, hey, we need to have more of an online presence. Maybe you're a small business and you didn't have a website before. Well, now during this pandemic, if you didn't have a website, people couldn't access you. So I think there's going to be more and more opportunities for people to get those type of jobs with different businesses. And there's always need for graphic designers and web designers and web developers as well. So those are two areas. And another one I look at is I mentioned it earlier, but the community services, that's one area where I really feel like, with the government, both from the federal and provincial side of things, sinking more money into the mental health side of things, these there's a growing need, especially because I think the pandemic, you look at the toll it took on our healthcare system, the toll it took on people and their lives. There was a lot of lives taken, but there was also, you look at the impact from a mental health side of things, people losing their jobs, people financially struggling, whether they were falling behind in bills and that sort of thing. And mentally, that can be really draining on a person when they are faced with those challenges. And we certainly, I know lots of people that, from a mental health standpoint, their mental health took a real downturn during the pandemic. And so there's definitely a need there. So.
Yeah, I also think just with educational assistance, something that's important to consider is the impact, again, that the pandemic has had on our school age children, right? Bouncing back and forth between online learning and going in class and having all of these really big disruptions in their regularly scheduled learning has definitely impacted how much they learned in the past year. And we've seen some articles coming out saying that there's a push to be hiring more educational assistants because students are going to need more help than ever to catch up on what they missed out on last year.
Yeah.
So that is also another industry that will definitely in Alberta be seeing, some boom. They're going to need people in classrooms once everything goes back in September.
I actually just spoke to a high school guidance counselor last week who mentioned to me that a good percentage of their graduates this year, while they've graduated, the experience the last year and a bit they've had has been a real challenge for them. Mm-hmm. And they're actually a lot of the students are going to come back and upgrade and do some things that, because the online learning was a challenge for them. And I'm thankful I wasn't of school age having to go through this experience because I'm very much, I need that structure in place. And to have to try to learn online would be very challenging for myself. I would have faltered big time. So even as an adult, I couldn't imagine as a teenager. So yeah, my heart goes out to all the kids and teachers that have had to go through this experience the last 16 months. So you're right, Melissa. I think that's an area where I really feel they're going to be really focusing on, in the next year to really get back up to normal. Because I think now a lot of schools, like their classes are going to be smaller, which I think is a good thing. I don't know many people that, thrive in a learning environment where, they have 50 kids in their class, in a high school class, or, 400 in a university auditorium. So there's a lot of different changes coming. And I think a lot of them are I'm hoping are on the positive side of things. So one area I think too, in the hospitality side of things, you look at now, that took a major hit during the pandemic. Businesses were, restaurants were shut down. You couldn't travel, hotels were shut down for several months, just lots of different things. And while you look at that industry now where it's picking themselves up off the ground and kind of building themselves back up again, if you're to take that, if that's something that you're of interest in, I think it's by the end of the year, the program, that's an industry that I think will be really starting to thrive again, especially when you look at people that throughout this pandemic haven't been able to travel or haven't been able to do a lot of different activities that they like to do, camping, you name it. They're going to want to get out there as much as they possibly can. And so I think that's an area where, they're going to be really in need of people. So you might look at that right now and say, oh, well, I don't know about that industry, but come down 12 months from now, 18 months from now, it's going to be hopefully we all hope that it's going to be back to thriving. So
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
I think those are like the main ones for what's gonna happen post, the world going back to normal. The rest of them, like accounting, business, legal, and technology, I think those are things that are a little bit COVID proof, is kind of the term that we've been using as we've been discussing about it. Because for accounting, it doesn't matter what's going on, businesses need people to handle their money all the time for everything, period.
Yep.
So those are safe. Business is much the same, I think. And we have lots of different options for business. So some of the things for this might seem a little bit similar. What's the difference between administrative assistant and business administration? Again, that's a question that can be answered to you once you book a meeting. They have all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that business is one of those things that is always going to need people in, even with COVID, right? It wasn't maybe the same way that we've always seen business. It wasn't face to face, but businesses had to learn how to move online and pivot and still try to, make money amidst all of this stuff. So it is definitely a COVID-proof industry. And then I think legal, again, same as the other ones, you need a lawyer for everything.
Yeah.
I haven't ever personally used a lawyer yet, but I expect many things.
Yeah. Unless the first time you buy a house, you're going to need a lawyer. There's lots of different things that go on in a person's life where you do need a lawyer. So yeah, it's one of those, I feel, COVID-proof industries where if you're looking for something with job security, that is an area where I feel like you would be okay in.
Yeah.
Because at some point in a person's life, they always need a lawyer for something. So
it's a good thing to go. So I think we've made it through our main questions. Do you want to move on to the littler questions?
Sure.
Cool. So the next one is, what are the admissions requirements for AOL?
So majority of our programs are grade 12 or equivalent. So when we talk about equivalency, we're looking at like a GED, something along those lines that allow you to have the ability to get into our programs. So grade 12 diploma is essentially what you need to get into any of our programs.
Also, if you don't have those, there are entrance exams that you can take to show competencies, but they do just have to obviously be booked and be taken so that they know that you're at where you need to be in order to enroll into these programs.
Yes.
Okay, our next one is, when did AOLCC start?
That was, I'm just double checking, I believe 1987 nationally. But here in Alberta, it was 1996. So we are celebrating our 25th anniversary, which again is why we have our promotion going on right now, where we're giving away 7 scholarships worth $2,500. One for each one of our 7 campuses across the province.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't know, that there is like a national brand, or like a national franchise. So there are AOLC, there are Academy of Learnings across the country, and then there's still a bunch here. So that's really cool. So there's like a lot of, like, the network of Academy of Learning is really large, which students can use to their advantage too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question is there an opportunity to learn more about AOLCC or visit the campus?
Yeah, obviously with the pandemic, our campuses were shut down, but we do have some admission staff at our different campuses that are available to talk to you, whether it's through online or in person. And our campuses will be opening up hopefully, in the next month or so. Hopefully, well, fingers crossed. But again, there's a lot of opportunities to learn just by going on our website. You can read up about all the programs that we have available. And if you're looking at some of the courses, and you have questions, just book a meeting with one of our admissions advisors, and they'll be able to give you all the answers to the questions that you may have.
Okay, and I think this might be the last question that we can actually speak to, because so we have, do students get any hands-on or practical experiences while studying?
Yeah, that goes back to our ISL. We offer many different ways for people to learn. If you're a hands-on learner, we can allow you to learn that way. We basically tailor to any strength that you may have when it comes to the way you like to learn. We cater to that. So a lot of our programs allow you to have that hands-on experience, that practical experience that someone is looking for when it comes to the program that they're studying.
Yeah, and there are some classes, like outside of COVID, all of the computer classes are hands-on with the computer, very and then like for healthcare, you can't learn CPR through a computer, so you'll be doing hands-on learning for that kind of stuff. It does really depend on what course you're taking, and then whether or not you're taking it in person. Once we are open to that again, and then obviously digitally will be a little bit different, but everything is adapted as well.
Yep.
Okay. Was there anything else? Did we miss stuff? Any lingering questions?
Yeah, if any of you that are turning in that have any questions, send them out there, and we'll do the best we can to answer them. Melissa, I guess while we wait, if there's any other questions, I guess we'll just get each other's experiences, just talking to people, when you and I have been doing these live streams, just the overall experiences that they've had, because a lot of them that we've talked to have not only are now working for AOLCC, but are alumni as well. So what have been your experiences when you've been talking to some of the staff and students and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think honestly the overarching feeling or vibe or whatever you want to call it of the people that I've spoken to is how much they actually really, really love it. I think it's rare when you talk to someone that they're so satisfied and fulfilled by the work that they do and the things that they studied. But they're just like, yeah, I studied this course. It gave me clear direction to what I wanted to do. It made me feel really confident. And then I started working for AOL, and like they've advanced in their careers. They've, worked with people who are their friends and their peers, and they really love it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah. I talked to an alumni a couple weeks ago, and she just talked about, how accommodating they were when it came to her schedule. She had a very busy schedule. And she told me stories about like her studying while she's like rocking her baby to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, or holding her baby while she's but it all worked. That was the best time for her to study. Different things, just how accommodating everyone was, and how everyone was really helpful when it came to any questions they had. And it's given her an opportunity to start working in a career that she's passionate about. She likes caring for people, likes working with the elderly, and so I think that's one of the things. I find a lot of times, when I was going to college, I remember talking to some people that would be in a certain program, and they'd be like, "Well," I'd be like, "Oh, what made you interested?" "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah.
Why are you taking a program just because you're taking it? Like to me, like I would want to take a program that I'm passionate about, you know, and I really feel like a lot of the people that are in these programs um, are extremely passionate, and you see it in the results. We have um, a lot of our students get honors in all of the courses that they take. There's a very high percentage of students that get honors in at least one of the programs uh,
Hmm.
that they take. So it shows their passion and their love for what they're doing.
And
And
it shows,
yeah,
yeah.
those are things I think that really stand out to me um, about the Academy of Learning is, the students are there to learn. They're not there to, because I think a lot of the students, they're different stages of their life. They can't just focus just on school. They have a lot of other things they have to focus on as well.
Yeah.
Whether that's a family or
Another job.
another job, uh,
Hmm.
and they're able to make it work, and it gives them an option so that they can pursue the career they want, but also um, aren't having to throw everything else aside. So I think that's the nice part of it all.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, but lots of good things.
yeah. So yeah, I think that wraps everything up. I want to thank everyone for joining us. We had some really good questions today, and we are going to be live tonight at 8 o'clock for our next live stream. So if there are any questions you have, or you want to hear of any other experiences, I will be hosting the live stream along with one of our other admission staff, I do believe. I'm not sure who it is yet, so we will find out. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, by all means, you can put them in the comment section here, and we'll do our best to answer them. Or if you want to tune in tonight at 8 o'clock, you can as well. So yeah, thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Melissa. That was that was fun.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. See you tonight.
See you.
Bye.